Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT Network. This is a show that is everything Broncos and sports topics related. I am your host, Bronco Bill. All right, guys, we have a really good show today. Hope you really enjoy it. A lot of good stuff to talk about. Let's jump right in with the topic about Phillip Lindsay. Now, Phillip Lindsay and the Indianapolis Colts have agreed on a one-year contract for Phillip Lindsay to be the Colts running back. Now, Phillip Lindsay, former Denver Bronco, obviously, has traveled to a couple of different teams. He was last on the Miami Dolphins. He played for the Texans as well. And before that, obviously, the Denver Broncos. So I wish Phillip Lindsay all the best. Just not when we play them this year, that's for sure. But the Indianapolis Colts are definitely building up and they're beefing up. They got Matt Ryan. They also signed another quarterback, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But Phillip Lindsay, in my opinion, never got a really fair share in Denver. Now, I know a lot of guys that I've talked to say that, Phillip Lindsay was, kind of streaky at best, but I really like the kid's drive. I like his passion. He was a walk-on. He was not drafted by the Broncos. He was a walk-on. He played with them. But Pat Shurmur never really used him, in my opinion, the best way possible. And again, I also don't think the Texans used him correctly, nor did the Dolphins. But hopefully in Indianapolis on the Colts, he will do much, much better. Like I said, just don't want him to be really good when we play the Colts later in the 2022 NFL season. So speaking of Nick Foles, or actually I should say speaking of Indianapolis, I just gave it away. The Indianapolis Colts have agreed to terms on a 2-year deal with Nick Foles as Matt Ryan's backup. Terms of the contract were not revealed. So I don't know, what the contract entitles, but he is on the Indianapolis Colts as Matt Ryan's backup for the next 2 years. Now, the reason why I feel it's a 2-year contract is because that's what Matt Ryan has left on his contract in Indianapolis. So Matt Ryan has 2 years on his contract. Nick Foles has 2 years on his contract. That is great news for the Indianapolis Colts. Not for the rest of the league per se. You have Matt Ryan, obviously a phenomenal quarterback. He comes over from Atlanta, and now you got Nick Foles. And I always thought I heard rumors that the Broncos may sign Nick Foles to the backup to Russell Wilson. Obviously, that didn't happen. Obviously, Nick Foles goes to Indianapolis. We still don't know who Russell Wilson's backup is other than Rippon. I like Rippon. He's solid, but he doesn't have that, I don't want to say pedigree, but he doesn't have that that playoff experience or Super Bowl experience. And that's what Nick Foles has. And I really wanted Nick Foles to come to Denver. I really did. Not that I think that Nick Foles is, the next heir apparent to Russell Wilson. No, not at all. But he does have the NFL playoff experience as well as Super Bowl experience, just like Russell Wilson, just like Matt Ryan. So the Colts definitely bolstered their quarterback room. That was a great move for them. They also bolstered their running back room with signing of Phillip Lindsay. Those were really two good signings by the Indianapolis Colts. So, like I said, when we play the Colts, I sure hope Phillip Lindsay and or Nick Foles don't rear their head against Denver and cause problems. We'll find out. All right, let's go to the Super Bowl 2023 broadcast team. The 2023 Fox Super Bowl announcers will not be Joe Buck and Troy Aikman because they have moved on to ESPN. They will be replaced by Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen. Okay, it's very, very hard to replace the number one team in Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. That's difficult. But because they moved on to ESPN, and good for them, a good contract for them. But that left a void on Fox. And a Super Bowl is the premier announcing game, obviously. And to have someone like Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen, I'm not sold on that. I'm not sold on that team announcing the game. Why? Well, like I said, it's very, very difficult to replace a legend in Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Those guys, that team reminds me a lot of the Pat Summerall and John Madden. They were great. They fed off of each other. Well, that's what Joe Buck and Troy Aikman do. They're going to be great on ESPN. But the Super Bowl 23 on Fox is going to have a new team, and that is Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen. I wish them the best. I hope they do well. I hope the game's not too big for them or the stage is not too big for them. But we'll find out. We'll definitely find out. And could possibly be the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. Let's just hope. Then I don't care who's announcing. I really don't. As long as the Broncos are in the game in the Super Bowl, I don't care who's announcing. It could be, well, I'm not going to say. Anyways, congratulations to Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen on being the announcing team for Super Bowl in 2023. All right. Let's go to a sad note. And I hate to bring this. I really do. But it's newsworthy. It's sports worthy. And we have to bring it. Sometimes good news, which I'd love doing the most. Sometimes bad news. This is an update on Dwayne Haskins passing. Okay. A toxicology report on Haskins showed that Dwayne had a blood alcohol level of 0.20 to 0.24. That is almost 3 times. Actually, it is 3 times the legal limit of alcohol in your blood system. A Steelers official told the medical examiner's office that Haskins had gone to a dinner and a club with a friend or his cousin the night he died. They were reportedly drinking heavily before getting into a fight and then separating. Talk about sad. We all know that you shouldn't drink and drive. We got that. We understand that. But my problem with this is simply this. Okay, let's say you're out enjoying dinner with friends or family or a cousin or whomever, and you overindulge. And it didn't say whether or not there was a fight between Haskins and somebody else, or was it Haskins and his friend or cousin that got into a fight with other people? Don't know. All it says is that they got into a fight after drinking heavily, and then they separated. Here's my problem, guys. Here's my problem. Okay, if you are with somebody and you see someone intoxicated, apparently heavily intoxicated at 3 times the legal limit, and you let that person drive or even walk away without any type of concern or well-being for that person, okay, maybe both of them were hammered. Maybe, possibly true. But somebody else inside that club or inside that dining facility or wherever they were should have spoken up, should have tried to keep Haskins from leaving. Call the authorities, call the police, call somebody, call Uber, but don't let him get in his car. Now, he didn't have a car accident, but he was walking on the freeway, apparently totally incapacitated, knowing what he was doing. That's the sad part about all of this. I often wondered why he was on the freeway. Why was he walking? Where was his buddies? Or where was his teammates or whomever? Now we know. We don't know the entire story, but we do know the very, very sad part that led up to his death. I'm sorry, guys, I had to bring it. I'm sorry I had to emphasize it like I did and like I am. But it's a real, real possibility and a real issue for anybody out there. If you see somebody that is in that situation, do the right thing. Step up and keep them from endangering themselves or others. I mean, it's incredibly sad that any of this happened. All right, I'll move on. I don't want to continue on that. All right, let's go to scouting combine. All right, back to Indianapolis. The NFL and the city of Indianapolis have agreed to keep the NFL scouting combine in Indy through the 2024 season. That will mark the city as the host for the combine for the past 37 years. That's amazing. That is amazing that the combine has been in Indianapolis for 37 years. They say it's a great city. It's a great hosting city for the combine. It's well laid out, and I think it's great that the combine stays in Indianapolis. I mean, it's just like I don't know. It's almost become I was gonna say almost become anti-NFL if they move it, because the city of Indianapolis does such a great job, and it's centrally located. It's like in the middle of the country per se, and that is wonderful for the NFL. It's great for the players who go to the combine. It's great for television. Like I said, it's right in the middle of the country, so it's not broadcasted too late on the East Coast and not too early on the West Coast. It's a perfect location. Now, what's going to happen after 2024 season? I don't know. That hasn't been determined. It's going to be up for bid. But I kind of like to see it stay in Indianapolis. I would. I mean, after all, like I said, it's been there for 37 years or will be by the end of the 2024 season. Why not keep it there? If it's not broke, don't fix it. It's not broken in Indianapolis, obviously, if it's been there for 37 years. So I say hats off to the NFL for keeping it there. Hats off to the city of Indianapolis for making it a great venue. It's just great, like I said, overall for the entire NFL. So that's good news. I'm glad to hear that. All right, let's go to Broncos OTAs. Now, Russell Wilson and most of his offensive teammates are participating in the OTAs. That stands for Organized Team Activities. All right. Missing, however, is Jerry Jeudy and Melvin Gordon. Why? Okay, I understand it's voluntary. It's not mandatory. But one would think, especially with a new head coach, a new offensive coordinator, a new quarterbacks coach, new playbook, new quarterback, and Melvin Gordon comes back to Denver on a one-year deal, you would think he would want to be there to learn everything he possibly can in the new system and the new quarterback. And where's Jerry Jeudy? Are they not there because of personal reasons? Are they not there because, I hate to say it, but do they think they don't need to be? Do they think and feel that, hey, I'll pick up the playbook and I'll get it and I'll be right in stride? Well, guess what? Cortland Sutton's there and he's catching passes left and right from Russell Wilson. But why isn't Jerry Jeudy there? Does Jerry Jeudy feel like he's above the team? I certainly hope not. Is Melvin Gordon thinking, well, I'm coming back, but I'm not really going to be the starting running back because that's going to go to Devontae Williams. So I don't really need to be there. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. How badly do these guys want to be on the team? Do they feel like they're prima donnas and all they got to do is just show up? Hey, here I am, guys. All right, let's get to business. Doesn't work that way. Russell Wilson is putting in all the time and effort that he can. Jerry Jeudy, Melvin Gordon, not so much. And that is a concern to me. Big, big concern to me. Everybody in this organization since Russell Wilson got here is ecstatic, along with Nathaniel Hackett. Everybody's ecstatic in that Broncos locker room that they have a Nathaniel Hackett as head coach, that they have a Russell Wilson as a quarterback. You got, like I said, you got Cortland Sutton out there. You have Justin Simmons saying these words about Russell Wilson in the red zone. He said in his presser, he said, Russell Wilson is amazing in the red zone. He keeps plays alive. And it's great that we have that type of a quarterback to go against in practice because it makes us better and sharper for when we face quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes or Justin Herbert or Carr. Yeah, and that's only the AFC West. And that is coming from Justin Simmons, who says, man, this guy keeps us on our toes. Well, if Justin Simmons is ecstatic to be out there on OTAs and going against Russell Wilson and getting better and more focused, why isn't Jerry Jeudy and Melvin Gordon there as well? Why aren't they? I don't have the answers. I don't think anybody outside of maybe the Broncos coaching staff knows why. I hope and trust that is for personal reasons, like a family gathering that was planned or a graduation of their child or something along those lines. I hope it is not because they feel all they have to do is show up whenever there's practice, mandatory practice. And all they have to do is show up. I hope that's not the case. Because it's not going to fly well. It's not going to fly well with Russell Wilson. And it's definitely not going to fly well with Nathaniel Hackett. I hope it's for all of the right reasons. Okay, let's go to Michael Vick. That's right. Michael Vick, former NFL quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Michael Vick, former NFL quarterback, is returning to football and coming out of retirement. What? Wait a minute. Did I read that right? Michael Vick, former NFL quarterback, is returning to football and coming out of retirement. Okay. Here's the catch. He will be joining a startup league of a fan-controlled football league. Vick is 41 years old and has not been assigned a team as of yet. This week is a 7-on-7 style game, 50 yards long, where the fans are the ones calling the plays. What the heck? Are you kidding me? Okay, we have the real football league. That's the NFL. That's the real one, in my opinion. Then you have the Canadian Football League. Then you have the Arena League. And now you've got this startup league. They don't even have a name for it, really. Just 7-on-7 style football game where the fans call the plays. Oh, that ought to be good. That ought to be really good. I don't think so. But that just tells me, and it should tell all of you watching and listening, that when these football players have that blood of playing football in their system, doesn't matter what age they are, they want to continue playing the game they love so much. I can't fault Michael Vick for wanting to play. Absolutely not. I can't fault him. But how good is he going to be at age 41 on a 7-on-7 team? where the fans are the ones calling the plays? I don't know. Are you going to give it a shot out there to watch it? I'm not sure I will. I may take a gander just to see what it looks like I did the Arena League and like I do with Canadian Football League at times. But you talk about stretching a point to try and continue playing at age 41. I don't even know if it's tackle. It doesn't say. It could be flag. That would be something. I don't know. To me, it's a stretch. But I guess, hats off. Congratulations to Michael Vick for wanting to get back into football. We'll see how far this one goes. All right, guys. Let's go to Nazem Kadri. And before I do that, I probably should do the Avalanche update. I have several topics along the Avalanche update. It involves Nazem Kadri. It involves the St. Louis Blues quote fans, and it involves some threats. So let's get to it right now. I'm going to do the Avalanche update, followed by the jackass of the week. Here we go. All right. Nazem Kadri, the the Colorado Avalanche hockey player. He's Middle Eastern. Here's the issue. Nazem Kadri, in Game 3 of the second round of the playoffs against the St. Louis Blues, Nazem Kadri was pushed into the Blues goalie, Jordan Binnington, and has been the subject of hate threats since. Okay, let me tell you what happened, guys. If you didn't see the game, if you didn't see Game 3 last Saturday, here's what happened. Okay, the puck is headed towards the goalie. Nazem Kadri is in full stride, trying to get to the puck to knock it into the net. Hopefully, he is pushed from behind and goes crashing in to Jordan Binnington. Jordan Binnington suffers some type of a lower body injury. I'm assuming it's his legs. Looked like he got pushed into the splits and some sort like that. He is done for the rest of the series. Okay, that was Saturday. Also in that game, let me back up a second. Nazem Kadri was not penalized for running or sliding into Binnington. He was pushed. It was not a penalty, but the Blues player decided to take matters into his own hands. So he goes after Sam Girard, and behind the net, a couple plays later, sequences later, goes behind the net and slams Sam Girard's head and body into the boards violently. No penalty was called, although I think there should have been for boarding, but no penalty was called. And Sam Girard is out of not only this series, but out of the entire playoffs, the remainder of the playoff season. Why? Because he broke his sternum. And the sternum, guys, is right in here. He broke that. No penalty was called. Should have been. But Nazem Kadri gets hate threats for knocking Binnington out of the game. Now, let me back up, guys. Let me back up because I'm quite angry about this. I'm quite angry and I'm quite frustrated. But I have great news later on when I get to the jackass of the week. Okay? So here it is. This is why I'm angry. Nazem Kadri was pushed into Binnington. Binnington gets hurt. It's done for the rest of the series. But Sam Girard was violently pushed and slammed into the boards. Head hits the glass. Body hits the boards. He crumples down to the ice, tries to get up and can't. Why? He broke his sternum. That's why. Binnington didn't break anything. Bennington just basically got the splits or did the splits and some type of injury. Didn't require hospitalization. Didn't require surgery. Sam Girard did. He did require surgery. He did require hospitalization. And here's what really angers me. Nazem Kadri, being Middle Eastern, gets death threats or hate crime threats. The police have to go to the Avalanche Hotel and protect them. They had to escort them to Game 4 of the playoffs in St. Louis. Why? Again, because of threats being made to Nazem Kadri. Okay. How does Nazem Kadri respond last night in last night's Game 4? I'll tell you how he responded to last night's Game 4. And here it is. Nazem Kadri not only scored a goal in the game, he didn't score 2 in the game. He got a hat trick. He got 3 goals in last night's game in a 6-3 Avalanche win. They won. Let me back up. On Saturday, they also won 5-2. But they won last night to take a 3-1 lead in the best of 7 series, going back to Colorado for Game 5 on Wednesday, tomorrow. So what does Nazem Kadri do? Goes like this. Shh, I can't hear you. Yeah. That's the kind of message you send to those thugs, to those bullies who call themselves the St. Louis Blues. Yeah, take that, St. Louis. Take that. Nazem Kadri did the right thing. After he scored, I believe it was maybe his second goal. What's his name? I can't think. Let me see. I'm sorry, guys. I've lost it right here. Not Bennington. It escapes me right now. But anyways, a St. Louis Blues player goes over to Kadri and tries to elbow him like this, tries to hit him. What's Kadri do? Moves right out of the way, makes the guy look like an idiot. Well, St. Louis Blues are idiots and thugs. Nazem Kadri, he got cross-checked twice, drew 2 penalties, and the Avalanche scored. That's how you silence thugs. That's how you silence punks. You don't get in their face in a hockey game and draw a penalty or be penalized. No, you just go out there and get a hat trick. Nazem Kadri's first ever hat trick in the playoffs. Fitting? Absolutely fitting. 100% absolutely fitting. Couldn't have been any better. Couldn't have scripted it any better. I mean, it's like something out of a Hollywood movie. You have all these threats. You think it's going to get into his head and affect him in the game? Sure, it did. He said after the game he used that momentum, those threats as momentum. And it paid off. And now the Colorado Avalanche go back to Denver, Game 5. Oh, you know it's going to be raucous. You know it's going to be loud. And you know that there is going to be some type of message sent by the fans to those players on the St. Louis Blues. Now, I'm not saying that it was the St. Louis Blues that were doing the threats. I didn't say that. The fans were the ones that were making the threats. But what I am saying is that the St. Louis Blues team plays dirty, they play nasty, and they're not disciplined. And when you play the way the Blues play, it's great to see somebody like Nazem Kadri step up and say, you know what? I'm not going to let that affect me. I'm going to let it motivate me. Nazem, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Go back to Denver and get the fourth game, your fourth win, and let's move on and just kick St. Louis Blues back to St. Louis with their tail hanging between their legs. Let's get it done on Wednesday. All right, guys, let's move into, you got it, the last segment, the jackass of the week. Now, I've already mentioned a little bit about the St. Louis Blues, quote, fans. Okay? They are the jackass of the week. And here's why. When Kadri was pushed into Bennington in Game 3 and knocked the goalie from the rest of the playoffs, threats towards Kadri required police protection. Okay, I understand that fans are emotional. I'm emotional. I'm a fan. But I am not going to make death threats against anybody. Or I'm not going to make, hated threats or racial threats. Why? Because I'm above that. It's not right. It doesn't accomplish anything. And it is, basically, it's illegal. Absolutely. So this week's Jackass of the Week goes to those morons, and yes, they are morons, in St. Louis that got upset because Bennington was hurt. Well, aren't you that good of a team that you have a backup? Sure, they have a backup. Not that good, but that's not our fault. That's not Kadri's fault. He was pushed in. Do you think that there was death threats or any type of threats made towards the player that knocked Sam Girard out of the series, out of the rest of the playoffs with a broken sternum? Do you think there was death threats or racial threats or any type of threat against the St. Louis Blues player? Nope. I have not heard a single one. Why? Because real fans don't do that. Real fans understand. Did I like the fact that Sam Girard's injured? Absolutely not. No way am I glad. I don't want to see any Avalanche player hurt, especially violently like that. Kadri's wasn't violent. Yes, there was a collision because he was pushed in. Sam Girard wasn't pushed in. Yeah, well, I take it back. He was pushed into the boards, but it was done on purpose. And then when you have Kadri scoring these goals, and then you have the Blues players trying to take him out with an elbow or when they cross-checked him into the boards, not once, but twice. Yeah. St. Louis Blues, quote, fans are just as thugly and ugly as their team players. Jackass of the week? Yeah, jackass of the series. St. Louis Blues are thugs, period. Now, I understand when you play hockey, you want to play hard and you want to play with passion. And these are the playoffs. I get it. But you don't do what the fans of the Blues have done, and that is make threats. Jackass of the week goes to the fans of the St. Louis Blues? Absolutely. But the answer was by Nazem Kadri with the hat trick. That's it, guys. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And remember, on Tuesday at Broncos Breakdown on YouTube is my show. It posts every Tuesday between 11 and 11:30. And that's on YouTube every Tuesday, 11, 12, 1, and 2. And then also on Tuesday on the MHRT Network is the 5280 podcast that's live. And that is live every 4, 5, 6, and 7 on MHRT Network. On Wednesday is the Wild Wild West. That features a fan from every AFC West team, Broncos, Raiders, Chargers, and Chiefs. That's live every Wednesday, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, and 7:30. And then on Thursday, we have Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast. And that features Johnny Bakke and his really good friend, Isaiah Henderson. That's live every Thursday, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then on Friday, Broncos Breakdown on MHRT Network is dropped and posted and for your viewing and listening at 10, 11, 12, and 1. All right, guys, tune into those shows. I know you'll find one that you really, really enjoy. Until Friday and next Tuesday, have a great rest of your week. Go Avalanche. take out the Blues tomorrow night, Wednesday. We'll talk to you guys next week. Take care. Bye-bye.